Greetings, everybody. Strategic Sage here, welcoming you back to Motorsport Manager. We've got 2 races left in the season and indeed in this series, hopefully. And we have a 77-point lead on Toyota, if you might recall. It's been a while since we've visited this game, but we're back from the detour. That means a 14-point win in this race would clinch, and we could do the final one as a montage. Now, we did acquire some new pit crew. We also lost one, at least one. Caldwell here is our only decent rear jack now. We have nobody else above 17, and nobody that we can hire that's better than that either. So hopefully that will improve by the time we need it. Although we shouldn't really need it, really. 92, if he doesn't make any mistakes in this race, he can run the last 2 races, and that's it. Of course, we're still good on the front jack with Deschamps. And we did bring in a couple new people that I really like. Veyrod here is good on the tires, and then also the jacks gives great versatility. And then Humadi here is our new star on the tire refueling combo that we hadn't been able to find anybody really top-notch for a long time. Likes to get one more like that, but that's still quite good. So I do think that we overall got an upgrade in that. Moving on to the cars, we head into Sydney where we are expecting rain. Acceleration and nose are our 2 keys. Nose we're number 1 in, and it's already maxed out. And the gearbox, we should just be able to max that out for this race. Hopefully make up a little bit of that ground. We're currently 3rd in there. And then, again, try to stay competitive with Toyota or close that gap. If we take a look here, we've got the 2 gearbox parts, then the 1 here on reliability. Get this to 100%, and we should be able to hit these 2 and maybe put a little bit into the suspension before the race. And we have a vote on road tires coming. Tires up for debate are actually road legal, a decent money saver for the teams. Performance level is low, though. They're expecting it to come down to money. The richer teams will want performance tires. Yeah. So I feel that in... Boy, 3 are against and 3 are undecided. How much voting power do we have anyway? We've got 4. I just don't like the idea of having, that's a good rule to add on a lower tier, but not on the top tier. So we'll just abstain and hope that the, sentiment before the race holds. And indeed it will. Everybody else votes against. And people have money here. I've voted twice against. 6-0. I've never seen a vote like that. Well, that was probably a waste of a vote for the GMA. But nonetheless, onward we go. All right, we are ready. Let's take a look at some of the news. 3.62 miles, no lap record. The gearbox is the key, and Toyota still has the best, despite us maxing ours out. Tire wear is high. Toyota's the favorite. Or maybe Ludwig is favorite to follow up the race in Phoenix. So we've got a little bit of debate on that. Looking forward to another great weekend. And all this stuff is done. So here's our overall. And boy, this says we actually did just barely catch Sydney after that report came in. Still the same position here. But being number 1 on the top 2 parts should really help us. We got a tiny bit of work in on the suspension. We're still way behind them there. And then also behind in this. So overall, we haven't caught them. But actually, I think if we put our parts out there, because I don't have that second gearbox. Nope. So let's throw that one on. And then let's see how that looks. Still second. Yeah, okay, that didn't really change anything. Alrighty. Let's see what's going on in Sydney. And, ooh, cool weather. So we will want to try to go with super softs if we can get away with it. Clear for practice and then rain for the track is always an interesting combination. Average fuel burn. With high tire wear, I doubt we can get away with super softs, but we will try them out and see how it goes. And of course, we can always reverse our field later. If we take a quick look at what they think of their cars, expected to be 4th and 3rd. So behind Toyota, had everybody else. Well, we had a dramatic run up here. We barely made level 3 trim in both qualifying and the race at the end of practice. Then there was rain at the end of qualifying. We just barely got our setup dialed in at 99%, triple purple on both cars at the end of that, but still managed to get the pole. So we met all of our goals and then some, but it was just barely by the skin of our teeth. So yeah. We did make it though. We're expecting rain, and we also went with the soft tires. The super softs were closer to the right distance, but not quite enough. I felt going conservative, making sure we'd have enough if we needed to do a longer stint in between the rain, was the better move in this particular case. And that gives us plenty of tire if we need to do that. And of course, getting on the pole narrows our margin of error that much further. They're suggesting intermediate. I see no reason to disagree. Looks like we'll be doing basically a full stint here, if not a little bit more. And then changing out. So, if that holds, what do we want to do? Well, we're going to go with, we're going to go with Mueller here. Car number 1. Plenty of distance on the intermediate tires, of course. And fuel. What are we going to do about fuel? And I'm going to go a bit on the conservative side and go with 26. We could probably get away with like 22, 23. But in case we want to extend this first stint a little bit further because of that weather. So I think this is a race we just kind of want to get into it. Go Ludwig first there. The other one's not looking too great on their form. Hopefully that will pick up a little bit. So we could be leaving some performance out there initially. But again, with the weather, I'm going to play it better safe than sorry. Okay, so we get the victory over Jackie Chan for the pole. I like the form there for car number 1. That's actually car number 2. Car number 1 down here. No. No, I don't like that very much. So they sort of reversed on their form. See if Ludwig can keep us there. Of course, everybody's going to be on the same tires here. We're off in Sydney, looking to clinch here in Australia. Ludwig out to a nice lead early. Mueller slides to the back. Well, 1 out of 2. And of course, Ludwig is the right man to have out there if we need to stretch it. Mueller up 1 spot. And now he's going to get some fired up action going, so hopefully he'll be able to move up more than that. Five-second lead for Ludwig. Mueller up to 10th, then back down to 11th. It's one of the Toyota cars he's jostling with. Wins, then loses. Ludwig running away with us in the front, so it's a question of what are we going to get out of Mueller. Not quite as far ahead now. Was up to 8 or 9 seconds. We're eventually going to need to push the tires some. And it's only going to get wetter. So let's do it now. Let's push those tire temperatures up now. Now I can let them slowly drop later on. First hybrid session. And yeah, let's definitely drop them now. We're going to let them go ahead and coast here for a while. And I'm letting the energy get away from me a bit. Go back to harvest. Ludwig has pulled out to a 15-second lead, but Mueller is not getting it done. Stuck at the back with Paffett. So rather depressing, the gap between our two drivers. Early standings would give us a 12-point lead over Toyota, which is not enough. We would need 2 more points than that. So we need to get something out of Mueller. If Ludwig can win this race, car 2, we need to get something out of car 1. Anything. Tire temperature isn't really going down. Perhaps I shouldn't have pushed him that far. Oh well. So the weather says what? Okay, it stopped raining and now it's going to go back down. It's going to cool later also. So we're up to 10th. Car number 1, that's something. Still a strong lead in the front. Looks like Mueller still can't get by Paffett there with Toyota, but he's followed him up a couple spots. Whoa. That was close. A little bit too close, I'd say. And we'll cut it off again. Four laps to go, so we definitely... I don't think I got enough fuel in this. Got miscalculated there. So let's slow this down. Under 2 laps we go hybrid. There we go. And see how long it is until they complain about the tires. And there we are. Well, you would go in first, wouldn't you, Mueller? Let's go and make that happen. Van Hoor, you come out. So, weather. It's going to be clear for a while. We're going to want to have Mueller out there for a longer stint later if we can. We're going to want an extended stint eventually with Negrao, actually. So I think a standard stint with Van Hoor now. And the fuel, I think we want more than we went with there. Let's bump it up to 30. Balanced 14%. I think we're going to have to get another lap. So they're going to go in first. We're not going to have enough time. Nope. We have to get another lap out of Ludwig. And now we'll come in. Switch to Briscoe. Hopefully Castelli will stay strong. I think I'm going to go with the same idea. 30 laps. Van Hoor comes out last. Let's see how Ludwig's stop goes. But nobody else has come in yet. And we do, and by following our driver's recommendation, we do often just barely beat the sort of rush on the switchovers. Briscoe is 6.5 and Ludwig had lost some of his form. Good stop, 43 seconds. Everybody else coming in now. Let's speed this up. So how far is we going to pop up to 9th? Well, there's more coming in. 6th. Some softs, some mediums. That would be enough. That would be just enough to get us there. Plus about 2 points. Okay. Yep. Wasn't minding my ERS. And we're also going to push these tires some. We should be able to push them pretty hard. But I'm going to want to do most of the pushing later when the track is dry, I think. At least that's going to be my goal. Nonetheless, not bad in early going, and we could potentially pick up a couple more spots here with car number 1. Let's do some pushing now. Can't do a lot. Let's do a little bit. Okay. Everybody way behind. I think we're going to safe pit stops with car 2. Unless I'm given a reason to do something else, and I don't see one at the moment. quarter of the way through the race. I'm just middle of the pack here with car number 1. That's my only real concern. Whoops. Okay. Screwed up. Slow down. Screwed up. Yeah, it's pretty dry. Let's go ahead and run them out. We're about halfway there. Yeah, we should be able to run them pretty hard here. Not as hard as I would have thought, but still. Let's run them fairly close to the top and then see how that transpires. Only an 11-point lead on Toyota now. That would not be enough. So we're touch and go with whether or not we're going to do well enough to totally clinch. Yeah. Let's take a quick look at the weather. No more rain coming anytime soon. So I think this is a normal length stint. And then we want to get some extra length on the next one. And let's go ahead and go neutral now. Whoa. Going a little crazy there with the hybrid. I wasn't paying attention. It'll be okay though. We'll get that energy back. Just a minor inefficiency. Briscoe driving very well. Vantour decent. I don't think it's going to give us enough. Still lots of time, but 2/3 of the race to go. It looks like Toyota is going to do well enough to force us to race out the final day. And we're getting close to time to come in. It'll be Vantour first. And yeah, we're going to have some extra fuel here. So I'm going to want to back off to, I think, about 26 laps. Well, 28, because we're going to want to get more out of them next time. We'll have a slightly long stint here. Okay. Well, everybody looking good. Negrao. Switch tires. Give you 29. And you've got to go balanced. Briscoe, you'll wait one more time around. Might as well push what's left in them. Use just a bit of hybrid here. Another good stop. Castelli looking great. Excellent. She's not the best person for a long stint, but we're going with what we have. And safe because of the big lead. So an excellent run by Briscoe, and potentially an even better one by Castelli coming in if she maintains that level. Let's go neutral. I want to keep the tire temperatures pretty low on this run, even if we leave some tire out there, because I want them to get some extra, a little bit more extra than usual distance on this. Like about 6-7 minutes bonus, get to almost 120 if I can. Yeah, why don't you do that then? And the growl is out, so you can go medium. We go conserve. Nah, go neutral. It'll lower it down. Go neutral. Okay. So Castelli just behind there, but that won't last. They just didn't pit as quick as we did. Weather? It's going to get cooler. No sign of more rain yet. Could very well be coming. But if so, it's not coming yet. See how far Negrao can move up when these other cars come in. Let's take a look at how he's doing. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. Yeah, with it getting cooler, well, let's just push you back up to equalize. Why not? More cars coming in. Negrao in 7th. I don't think he's going to get any further than that, though. Still got a couple more. And we're still not equal. Approaching halfway point here in Sydney. Okay, Negrao's up to 5th. Stops are even. And we're back up to a 15-point lead. Or, yeah, 15-point win, which would in fact be enough. Getting close to equal now on the tires. And just about there. Okay. Third stint, long stint, 9.5 and 7.3. Both of our middle drivers, or third drivers, whatever you want to call them, doing very well here in Sydney. And I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Got other cars on super softs, so we just got to sort of hold on while they burn them out. And let's switch back to push for a while. I'm not going to be able to make as much distance in the cooler weather. And okay, we've got weather coming. All right, let's slow this down. We've got to figure out this weather. So, around the 120-minute mark, roughly. Around the 2-hour mark, we're going to need to do a switch. We're not going to make that long with these drivers. We're going to need to get in an extra stop. I'm not sure what the best way is to do it, because we can come in now. Get a short stop with somebody. We're going to have to do a second stint, no matter how you look at it. We're switching to 6. We're switching to 6 stints. We're going to do a short run, I think, with... Let's do a normal size run. Well, let's do a 1-hour run. And then we'll do a short run with the ones who did a normal size ones already. And then that... Let's see, how long would that... That should be about right. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is, like, for example, Briscoe will come in, and then that's going to be Van Hoort. We're going to have them come out for another stint when we hit the 1-hour mark with these drivers. Okay. And that means we also want to be pushing on the tires. So this is going to be an inefficient stint, but there's not much choice in it. We're not going to have much fuel to take on in our next one. We have to recalibrate how much fuel we, I mean, instead of like 28 laps or so, we're going to want to drop down to like 23 maybe? 22? Somewhere in that vicinity. We want to use as much of the fuel and as much of the tires as we can. And so we're basically just cutting the losses that we're going to have here. Because we do, with the weather, we are going to have to take on one more stop. And I don't think there's any way around that. Okay, let's slow down here. And go back neutral, because our tires are getting warm. Yeah, I think we just want to stay slowed down here. And the Grau's going to be first. And I think he's going to come in this lap. Okay. So as much as I can't really go back to Van Hoor. Well, I can, but it's going to be a bad stint for him. Boy. But if I don't do it that way, it's going to be an even longer stint. It's going to really mess up Mueller. So, I don't think I have much choice. I don't like taking a driver out that's not fresh. I really don't like that, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so we're going to have a short stint here. It's not even going to need the 22 laps or so. Yeah. How much can we put on without... Okay. That's how much we can put on without increasing our pit stop time. Is that enough? It's close. All right, I want to take on a little bit extra, if anything. So I think 18, 19 is where I want to be. So Van Hoor, you're going... Yeah, do I really want you safe again? No, I don't want you safe. I want the other one safe. Okay. So you are going to go... Doggone it. Balanced. Onward. And then Castelli will take one more time around and then stop. And that, of course, means we're going to be seeing Negrão and Castelli out here again. But first things first, we get the less driving well Van Hoor out on the track. Okay. And it's Briscoe. Similar settings. And we'll go with that. Use a little bit extra energy if we have to make it work. Then you're going safe. Castelli's still driving at 10. I'm so sorry I have to pull you off when you're driving like this. Still, Briscoe at 8.3 is not a crying shame. And this will be a relatively quick stop. Indeed, 34 and change. Van Hoor did not change tires. Would I ever botch that? You're not going to make it. Come in. Stupid. So much for clinching on this race. Gah. Unless the other drivers royally screw up some things. That does it there. There's no way I can make the distance I need on those tires. Oh, that's just, look, that's just on me. It's dumb. I didn't double check the tires. I would like to say something else about that, but I can't. There's just, okay, push, push, you go hybrid, you switch. We're going to equalize as quickly as we can here. Okay, that's equal. Now you come back to neutral. Now we're going to equalize tires. Funny thing is, we may not actually lose that many positions. Close enough on the tires, I think. Harvest. Harvest. Let's go after it. So Briscoe is back up to the lead. Didn't screw him up. Van Hoor is in 9th. But we've got more pits coming, so maybe we get a little bit more. Yeah, may not get any higher than 9th. We will see. No, you don't. Alright, let's switch it up and push some here. 15-20 minutes probably. Another pit stop. It's not a huge gap here. I mean, we'd be up 6th at least. And there's more that are going to pit. So it's not like he's getting crushed, but... okay, what's it say? Yep, 11-point win. We'd still win, but it wouldn't be by enough. Shocking. Oh yeah, that's a lot of water. It's actually going to get into wets territory. So we could be talking about... Goodness, we could be talking about even more stops. This could get really crazy. The end of this race could get really crazy. You can see there's a couple spots there to be had. Not that far ahead of Van Hoor. Alright, let's go neutral for a bit here. The rain has started to come, so we're just going to chill out here at a slower speed, but we've got to... See, I think the peak of that is high enough. I think we're doing another short stint on inters, and then we're going to have to switch to wets. Because it looks like there's going to be a long enough period that's wet enough that it's going to be worse for us not to. This could work out to our benefit, or it could be horrible. I don't know how it's going to go. It's so much fun judging wet weather and endurance. Not. To use this fuel. I don't want to push the tires. It's wet territory. Just got to see how long this takes to get wet enough. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Boy, last 2 hours here in Sydney. I'm really glad that, like, the season isn't going to come down to this race. Because it's not unless we don't win and then it has a disaster in the last one. Because this would be really tense to actually have your whole season. If it was a really close race, like stuff we were dealing with middle of last year. That would be nuts to try to deal with it in this. And it's already gone farther than I thought. I thought we're going to be on wet tires by now, so... We're still holding on fine with the fuel, though. I'm going to wait to decide what to do until they tell us to come in, because I want to make sure that I have all the possible information before making that decision. A couple of them coming in there at the bottom, but those don't matter. Okay, here we go. Briscoe, 75 seconds in the lead. We don't have to worry about you. We're coming in with Van Hoor. Yeah. So, I think we're looking at about a half hour to 40-minute stint. So, maybe 13 laps of fuel? And then if we're going with a 30 to 40 minute stint, do we get Negrao out there for a short one? Well, what's going to be left after that is like 120. If we can stretch it far enough, even if it goes a little bit over and then finish it up, well, is the weather going to let us do that though? We don't know. The thing is, if it stays wet enough long enough, I don't know if it's going to let me. Either way, I'm going to switch back to Negrao just in case it works. Enters. Let's say 14. And actually, how much fuel can we put in before it starts costing us time? Again, let's do that. Okay. Yep, that's... Oh, well, that's already costing us time. Okay. 14 it is. Balanced. Okay. So you come in, and then you're going to be followed by Briscoe. This is the machinations I'm doing with these pit stops. None of which may be good ideas, ultimately. It's like, it's throwing all the normal decision making on its head, is what it's doing. Okay. So from Briscoe, back to Castelli. Same deal. Enters. Slightly less fuel, perhaps? If anything, I'd like to be out there a little bit extra, so let's do that. And you're going safe. Because you're in the lead. Okay. Briscoe, let's get you in. And then we're going to see what's what. And a number of cars still out on their dry tires. Want to be mostly cautious here. Go hybrid. Okay. And away we go. So, we are in 10th here with Negrao, but that's not going to last. At least that far isn't going to last. He'll catch up some to the pack. Up to 9th. Still 9th. Seventh. Where does that put us? Haha, barely winning. Toyota is improving towards the end of the race. So, yeah, we need to ground and move up a lot. Which is probably not going to happen. Okay, we're riding this out. Neutral until they tell us to switch to wets. And then we'll have an idea of what's going to happen. Because whether or not... I want to stretch it to the point where we can switch to Mueller and Ludwig, and they'll have enough track time to do it. And then the question at that point becomes how, like, they may have to come back, they may do wets and then come back in for inters. But if they have to, that's fine. Driver stays in the car, just a bit of refueling. This is nuts. So, Mueller is at 104. So 120 or less. Yeah, if we get down to like 115, we're golden. Anything above that is iffy. So another 10 minutes, what we're saying. We got to try to stay out here another 10 minutes. And then, again, the growl is going to be in sooner. Because the guy replacing him has more time to give. Mueller at 104 and 106 and a half for Ludwig. Doggone it. It's not going to work. Okay. Push. Push. We didn't have nearly as much time as I thought. Well, it's only a few minutes. The wetness here. Yeah, we're going to want to be on wets the whole rest of the race. So if we stretch this out and lose some time here, but then we save that pit stop later? Alright, I think I've got to do it. So, when... Let's see. Not this lap. We're watching Negrau first. Negrau can come in first, and then we worry about the rest. You know what? We've got enough fuel at least for now, so let's harvest. Okay. So, at this point, Negrau... We should have enough if we come in this time. Okay, Mueller, you're going wets. Need enough to finish the race. How much is that? Let's say 30 and be cautious. I think. Yeah, I don't dare go lower than 30. Balanced for you. Okay. Then, over here, got that 106 and a half, so we've got to at least finish this lap and do one more. Have to do that for pit reasons anyway. We're not really worried about you anyway. You're going to win, so... That should be enough time. I'm going with it. Wets. Give you 29. Safe. Make sure we got the wet tires. We do. Okay. We've made our play. Now it's time to see if it works. Mueller, you are out. Nope. Go neutral. Castelli. Switching to Ludwig. And we screw up the refueling. But it's really not going to matter. Still annoys me. Particularly since it'll hurt for the final race. Okay. First and sixth. The gaps are not as high as they're currently showing. Yeah, we're going to have plenty of time. Now, let's see. Yeah, it's actually going to get worse for the tires, so I need to risk pushing here. I need to jack up the tire temps so that we're not pushing during the worst of it. Okay. Because the temperatures, yeah, temperatures are super low right now. And we're risking crashing here, but there's more of a risk if I don't do it. Okay, that's how much of that I'm going to endure. We're going to go neutral for as long as we can. So, this race is about how Mueller does. And it's also about like what we can get done in terms of Toyota. Like, what do they do? Boy, we're dropping temperature fast. 1 hour left. Seven-point lead. So, mistake. Not a big one, though. Unless Toyota mismanages the end of this, what's going to happen is that extra pit stops is going to kill it for us. Because if we got back like that, say, 40 seconds or whatever it was, we'd be in first and second. This would be over. But no, I had to screw it up. And yeah. Now we're at peak wetness and I'm about to have to push. Let's do it for as brief of a period as we can get away with. Back off. To neutral. At least for now. Waiting to see if Toyota lets me out of jail, and I don't think they're gonna. The only thing is if their tires didn't make it the distance or something. The thing is if their tires don't, like mine aren't that much better. It's Toyota number 2 here. 63%. I think their tires are going to make it. I don't think that we're going to get the break that we need. Water is going down, but not fast enough. We've got to push here. Temps going to stay the same. Last half hour. Oh, something happened to Toyota. Somebody pit. They did let us out of jail. If this holds. I was so busy adjusting my, stuff I didn't see what happened. If you're watching this, you probably saw it and I didn't, but whatever. Up to 4th. More pit stops. Did they not bring enough fuel or something? I don't care. At this point, I don't care. It looks like we're going to look at it. Yeah, that's 16-point lead. That's enough. We needed 14. We got 16. So now we just need to not screw this up. Watch me screw it up. By the fuel, I mean, we should have plenty of fuel given the time that's left. I'm looking for flaws. I'm looking for things that are screwing me. I mean, that we should have enough tire. And why on earth? Rebellion Racing. Super soft tires on a soaked, well, just turned back to wet, but soaked freaking track. You, sir, are like... everybody has 5 wet tires and inners. Like, you're forced to. There's no... What on earth are you doing? That makes no sense. This is one of those where you're like, get me the name of the guy that wrote that AI. I mean, because changing to super softs in the middle of this weather... Oh, fine. But in the middle of this weather, when you don't... When you have tires... Like, there's... Super softs aren't going to make you go fast enough. Like, it's the kind of thing that should never... Somebody else did it. G-Drive, okay. But it's like... That's a decision that literally should never be made. Like, this is a situation where it's just... You know, if you're going to change tires, you change to wets. You don't change to super softs to go faster in this weather because you're not going to go faster. Well, we're about to wrap this up and Ludwig's going to win. Let's ride along. 10.0 fitting. Mueller at 7.2. Might as well leave them both on hybrid. Let's switch to neutral, but otherwise we have no reason to change anything. We might have just lost your groove, but you won back-to-back races. That's okay, I guess. It's more than okay. It's a championship winner, boys. They got third, but that's it. Any rule violations to mess things up? Well, yeah. But that didn't affect us. Oh, the win and the pole. Car number 2. Couldn't have done any better. Great job, Ludwig. And only 4 cars on the lead lap, including us. Toyota did get second and third. So yeah, we took the top 4 between us. Almost 700 miles. Top 2 driver spots. Boy, I must have miscalculated somewhere. I'm wrong. It's not over. We only won by a few points. What did Toyota do to get back the points after I last checked it? Or I just read it wrong? Okay. Either way, I was wrong. It's not over. We have to do the final race because they could potentially get 90 points and we could potentially have both drivers crash, in which case we would lose. And while I generally am a mild-mannered person, I would probably swear and break things. Okay. Well, he won 2 in a row. So it might be being an egomaniac, but he won 2 in a row. So, you know, good driving by car 1. Let's see what the improvements say. Nothing. Of course that's what they say. Did boost our marketability again. Come in first overall. Really good driving by car 2, especially Castelli. Good job by Briscoe, and she boosts up some more. We make some more money. We're back up over 20 million, over 21 million actually. Okay, it's down to Beijing. And yeah, we haven't seen the Beijing track in a long time, if ever, really. I don't even remember if... I'm sure I've driven at some point during this. But we need to get 8 points. We need 8 points of any kind, and it's inconceivable unless both cars crash, so that doesn't happen. One car crashes, one has a horrible day, whatever. But we're going to have to race it out, so we will conclude Motorsport Manager, as far as my involvement in it, barring a complete and epic disaster next week when we head off to Beijing. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody. Be back soon with a conclusion.